Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the OTT Podcast. My name is Tyler Thompson. I'm the editor-in-chief of Kentucky Sports Radio. And today I'm joined by Fake Barney, who is on the wrong podcast, according to his virtual background.
Look, Coach Taylor is always going to be John Rayburn. And so I'm just owning it.
Fair enough. So we are continuing our Friday Night Lights rewatch, or in Barney's case, watch, since this is the first time he's seen it.
Yep.
Last week we recapped the pilot episode, and today we are going to do two episodes. We're going to start by recapping episodes 2 through 10, and then do 11 through 22, because season 1 has 22 episodes, which is kind of unheard of with television shows today. But you are done with season 1.
Yes, I am. Maybe like 3 or 4 episodes into season 2. So I'm going to do my best to try to remember what's happened because it's all kind of running together right now. It's my first time watching it. So as to not get grilled on Facebook anymore from spoiler people.
Yeah, you got in some trouble.
Look, I know I'm the only person in the world, but I'm the only person in the world that's seen this for the first time. Like, all of y'all have seen it, so stop whining to me about spoilers because you've already seen it. Like, everyone else has seen this already, and I'm the only one.
But not everybody. I think we have a couple viewers and listeners who are watching this along for the first time too.
Okay. Give us a shout so that I know who you are, and we can talk like theories together. Because I don't want to talk theories with you because you'll just lead me on some path on purpose or something. Yeah, right. So I've successfully avoided all spoilers. Watching every episode as if it's brand new. So if you're doing the same thing as me, I would love to interact with you on Twitter, because it's not like there's a message board or something I can go to now to hash out all of my theories.
It's defunct.
I'm just scared to Google anything about Friday Night Lights. So if you send me a Twitter message, I can promise you that we can discuss our theories, and then everyone else can laugh at us for how wrong we are or right we are.
There you go. So again, this episode of our podcast is just going to be about episodes 2 through 10 of the series of season 1. And then we'll take a break and we'll do another episode in which we do 11 through 22. So if you're watching
a season 1 recap.
And then we'll do a general overall season
as part of the second episode. Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that I'm covering up Kevin Rayburn because he's the worst.
He was one of the worst on that whole series. This is a side topic, but we never made it through the final season of that show.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it gets kind of dark, but it's also, yeah. Well, Tomlin is watching the Perry Mason and says that it got better, and we couldn't get past the first episode.
We didn't even try.
So dark. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to watch that during COVID. It's like the whole point of watching Friday Night Lights is, let's pretend that we're actually going to have football and watch that.
Yeah, I know. I need not always happy things, but I can't do heavy dramas right now. I can't.
I'll tell you something about this show. It's very stressful.
Yeah.
The games, I don't sweat when I'm watching it, but it's kind of close.
They do a really good job capturing the real drama of watching a sporting event, because a lot of movies about sports or TV shows about sports don't. And I really appreciate, that they capture the true drama of it.
I know what you mean, too, by the drama, because they also do a really great job of not making the outcomes of the games predictable.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this, and then I almost did it again. almost did a spoiler. But I was going to say, the way that season 1 ends.
We need
I'll say it this way. The end of season 1 is not what I would have chosen as the way to end the very first season.
Okay, well, we'll get there.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Saying. So it's so back to your point, I think that it is really fun how, the drama, because it's not predictable. The first episodes was predictable. We talked about that in the pilot. You knew that the quarterback was going to get hurt. You could just see that coming a mile away, but you didn't know if they were going to win or lose the game, at the end. And I feel like the drama, it all kind of builds up to the big game on Friday night. And it is a lot like watching a live like sports event, because I think that they've just done a really good job. Because I'll be watching with my wife and I'll say, oh, I think that, the Panthers are going to win, or I think the other team's going to win. And I'm wrong a lot of the time.
So I think we should, going forward, have like a spoiler jar. You know how like somebody has like a curse jar? So every time
that sounds good.
Spoil something, you put $1 in the jar.
You can do it too.
Give it to charity or something.
Yeah, but if you spoil something for me, you got to put like $10 in the jar.
$10?
Yeah, because if I spoil something, you've already seen it. If you spoil something, it's gonna like ruin the whole thing for me.
I'm not putting $10.
You're gonna slip. You'll slip up and say something.
I'm sure I will. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna start with episodes 2 through 10, and
speaking of swear jar, this is gonna sound like I'm Saracen's grandma, but I actually kind of find it a little bit refreshing that because this is on network TV, it's not as like intense as the shows that I've been watching on like Netflix and stuff.
You like the gentle network filter over everything?
Yeah, like I feel like I could watch this with Saracen's grandma and not blush,
I don't know. Tammy and Coach Taylor have some risque moments sometimes. Like,
that's only happened once when I've been watching. So
yeah, where they were making a joke about how they were gonna like dance later that night, and Julie's like, "Ew, you all know I'm in the room, parents."
Yeah. I just got through an episode where they've been holding out for a while for reasons that we won't talk about, and he's like all about trying to get her back in the sack.
Yeah, and then I think that same episode that I was mentioning, like Buddy keeps interrupting them, like he shows up at the door.
Oh,
like a very inopportune.
All right, just because I told you that it was refreshing doesn't mean I want to hash out all of the moments that you think are not refreshing.
I just think it's funny.
I'm just saying, like, it's nice to not like for it to not be so heavy on all of the adult content.
So it's like the antithesis of the Cardi B WAP video / song.
I'm just going to laugh and pretend like that I know what you're talking about, so all the kids still think I'm cool.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. All right, so instead of going through episode by episode and saying what happens, we're just going to go through main storylines.
All right.
So I'm going to do my little share screen thing. If I can figure out how to do it. Okay, so we are going to start with Julie and Matt. Okay, so last we saw them in the pilot, we knew.
Okay, I am looking at a field full of daisies and your.
A field full. Whoops. Okay, let's try that all over again. How about
just
that?
Gave your like IP address or something out to a bunch of hackers in Russia.
I'll blur it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have Julie and Matt?
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, they're real close. They got bedroom eyes.
So last we saw them in the pilot, we knew that Matt Saracen had something for Julie Taylor. Like they kind of made it clear, even in the pilot, that she piqued his attention, and the first half of season 1 was just kind of the flirtation and Matt Saracen trying to not only work up the guts to ask her out, but he's just an awkward kid in general, and he's being asked to be like a quarterback, and he's going through a lot.
Great actor.
Yeah, he's really
like
really good.
He pulls off the whole shy stutter thing really well. I mean, and even in this like clip that you picked, he's always got his mouth hanging open like Tyler Hansborough. Like he always looks like that he's just like confused and everything. I mean, look, you got Julie giving him some great bedroom eyes here, and then he's just looking at her like she just asked him the square root of 7,000.
But I think it's kind of interesting. So he's usually, like you're right, he's usually bumbling and doesn't know what to say and just stammers and is very unsure of himself. But I think that, they had their first date, which was kind of a train wreck, and we can talk about that in a minute. And it didn't end how he would have wanted. They didn't end up kissing. It wasn't like the textbook storyline, first date. But
because of freaking grandma.
We'll get to that in a minute. But they had a great first kiss, and I think part of that was like he was on the field. Like he had his confidence that he's gotten as being like the quarterback of the football team. And so he was kind of able to to overcome all of his awkwardness and have that moment, which I thought was really cool.
I would have liked it better if they had like had a nice like focused shot of them and that went unfocused and you saw Coach Taylor in the background like glowering over their first kiss. That would have been funnier. But
well, that's a really good a segue to one of the best moments of the first half of season 1 was, you know, Coach Taylor's trying to mold Matt Saracen into a confident quarterback, and
oh my gosh, you're going to talk about something that makes me cringe.
So he's talking about, you know, you just need to get out of your own head. You need to, you know, take a girl out on a date, get her in your back seat or whatever.
Oh my gosh, we both started laughing when he said that. I could not believe that he said that.
And then he finds out the girl he was telling Matt Saracen
serves him right
in the back seat was his daughter, which
serves him
hilarious.
Right, you know. And this goes to, I think, a theme that we'll touch on about how woke this series is back in 2006 and episode 10, you know, which is It's Different for Girls episode.
Great episode.
Do what?
I say that's a great episode. It's one of
I know it is. It is really good. And I mean, I think that kind of goes to, I mean, you know, shame on Coach Taylor for telling Matt to use a chick to make himself feel better as a man. So dumb.
Look at that. Feminist Barney.
Just saying, man. I'm covering up Kevin here. We've highlighted the feminist Rayburn over here. We're good. We're going all in.
But so yeah, we leave these two. They just had their first kiss, I think, at the end of episode 9 or 10. They're well on their way to dating. They seem to like each other a lot. You know, right. They're fine. So that's where we leave them. Next, we have Smash.
Love Smash. Love his
Smash
mom.
Smash is a great character. I don't like a lot of what happened in season 1. So where we left him in the pilot, obviously Smash is one of the stars of the team. He's confident, really good athlete. He provides a lot of like comic relief, I think, in the series.
Yeah.
But he also has a lot of pressure. In episodes 2 through 10, you kind of see how much pressure he puts on himself. He has the incident where, you know, the scout comes out to the game and says, you know, if you get on this list, then you'll get a lot of D1 offers. And it's just a lot of pressure he's putting on himself.
Yeah. And then you get to see kind of why. I mean, you know, what he wants to do for his family and stuff.
Yeah, and his mom is awesome.
Yeah, she is. Except I'm ready for her character to be more than like what they've made her to be so far.
Yeah, but right now you can see how he's very conflicted. He's got a lot of pressure on himself, which leads him to make some very upsetting decisions, which kind of pisses me off because I feel like they could have gone in a different direction and it would have been more believable. So he ends up taking steroids. Did you just spoil something? No, I don't think so. I think that's episodes 2 through 10.
Okay, that's in episode 9. You're right.
Yeah, so he lies to his mom and says
almost got $10.
He lies to his mom and says he needs money for an SAT prep course.
Right.
It's not an SAT prep course.
No.
He gives his mom this whole guilt trip about it.
Yeah.
Which leads her to like ask the church to help, which I thought
that was so bad.
So upsetting because
I know.
You just feel for
all the people like giving like sacrificially toward the cause. And it's like, you know, Smash is just putting the cause into his butt, literally.
Right. So, you know, he ends up taking the steroids. It ends just as badly, you know, as you would think. We'll get into that in the second of, you know, our episode.
And I'm wondering if this is going to come back. Like, so don't even make like knowing eyes or anything. So close your eyes. But like, I'm wondering if this is going to like come back, maybe even like seasons down the road, you know, because, you know, if they end up having success, you know, with this season, you know, I could see in season 4 or something of this show, how many seasons are there? I don't even know. But I was like, let's say in season 4 of the show, you know, they find out that Smash was actually ineligible, you know, years before. I mean, I think that would be an interesting storyline, but whatever.
So, yeah, Smash is going through a lot. He does end up getting a job at the Dairy Freeze with Saracen, which is kind of funny. Because, you got this really cool, star player, and he's also sitting there wearing that goofy paper hat, which just makes me laugh all the time.
I love that they did that on their own, though. That seems like something that the coach would want the running back and the quarterback like as roommates or hanging out all the time.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that they like naturally fell into a working arrangement where, pretty much they're spending all their time together that's not in class. I mean, you think about when you're in high school, all the time they spend on the football field and training and everything, and then they hang out in the diner and stuff together, and now they're working together too. I mean, like the chemistry there it can only help. And so it almost seems like something that the coaches would suggest, like say, hey, you should get a job with the star quarterback. But they just kind of naturally fell into it. And they don't seem like it's like a buddy cop movie or something. They don't really seem like, natural, people that would have a lot in common. I mean, you've got a super confident, like outgoing star athlete, and then you've got shy and reserved Matt Saracen. They just don't really seem to fit together well, but they do.
Yeah. So that's where we leave Smash. More happens with him, but we'll get to that in the next episode. Let's just talk about the Taylors, because I think
and this picture is great because you've got them in ascending order from left to right and how good the Taylors are.
Are you saying that Coach Taylor is the best, and then Tammy? And are you going by height? Is that what you're saying?
No. I was actually going from left to right. If you go from left to right, they get progressively better. Taylors in the same.
Oh, golly.
Yeah.
So before we get into your love affair with Julie Taylor, I will say I think one of my favorite – I was trying to think of my favorite storyline of the first half of the season. And I kind of want to just say that it's – like the family relationship between these three, because they're really funny. Like, I think that Coach Taylor's little like one-liners are great, and seeing them trying to like, oh God, okay, Barney, like anybody who has done Zoom once has just discovered virtual backgrounds, guys. So
the picture is great. Don't you want to just like brush her hair aside? Look at that like one bang coming down the middle.
I wonder how long it took them to like get the fan that they used in that photo shoot to go just right to fan it across her forehead like
Look
that.
How narcissistic this makes me look. It's like I'm in love with myself. I just got my.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's great. It's good. It's good stuff.
But yeah, the Taylors I think are awesome. There's so many moments that they have where they're just it's great. They're a very real family. Their reaction when Matt and Julie go on their first date, I thought was really, really funny. Because she comes out in this ridiculous dress and like 5-inch heels, and they were going to a movie.
Not as ridiculous as maybe an outfit that we see later.
Yeah, but
from Brazil or something.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But it just cracks me up that
Matt Saracen's going to get into that later.
Matt Saracen and his members only jacket. Like, I just think
I don't get why was he so mad about that? Is that like a thing?
No, I think it's just I think Coach Taylor could tell that Matt Saracen was trying to impress, his daughter.
But what is members only? Is that like a
Oh, you don't know what a members only jacket is?
Does it mean like I'm out?
It's like the style of the jacket.
The poon or something? Like
No, but you know what a members only jacket is, right?
I mean, I know what it is, but I don't get like why Coach Taylor was like, "Is that a members only jacket?" Like he was like so freaking out about it.
He's trying to be cool. I don't know.
Ask Mr. TT. Is he nearby?
No, he's upstairs working.
Okay, I was gonna say, because clearly I should have been wearing one.
Mr. TT has a members only jacket.
Does he break it out when he's trying to
No, it's actually it's like because we were members of one of our breweries.
Okay.
Before all of this.
So you literally were members on it.
Yeah, and it like has like the name of the brewery, and then it has his name like embroidered on it. So it is.
I think I need to research these a little bit more because I don't understand. I don't get what the whole like thing is.
It was kind of funny, like that scene where Landry and Saracen go to the Goodwill and they're like shopping, and he's like, you need to, You're QB1. You got.
Where do you buy those? I mean, like in my small town, if I wanted to like impress a girl, to like I would get. Remember Chaps? I'd get like a shirt that was Chaps.
I don't remember Chaps.
Chaps. It was like.
Was that the Kmart brand? Or
no, hey, back off, man. No, it was Ralph Lauren. It was like, but it was Chaps, man. You know, hey, okay, anybody that was about the same age as me and Tyler, mid-30s, y'all back me up on this at Fake Barney KSR. Tell me about that I'm not alone in how Chaps used to be like what you wore. Like if he just showed up with a Chaps jacket, I'd have been like, "Oh, this
I get
is serious dating."
I get
like,
it.
Yeah.
You also are, that's super preppy to be wearing.
But that's small town, like Dylan. Like I mean,
small town North Carolina, maybe.
Yeah, we had to drive to like Wilmington to get Chaps. You couldn't get. That's what I'm saying. Like you couldn't get Chaps like in the hometown. You had to drive to like the mall that was in the nice like big town.
Fair enough.
What was it like with Danville? Where did you have, if you wanted to get clothes that wasn't like what every single person in your school was wearing? I mean, how far did you have to drive?
Lexington.
How far is that?
Like 30 minutes.
Oh, well, it was like, it took effort.
45 minutes before they had the new road.
What I'm trying to say is, if I was trying to impress a girl in high school, not that I ever did because I was busy playing GoldenEye, but if I ever wanted to impress a girl in high school and I was to show up at her house in something that was Chaps, then she knew that like this was so special to me that I had to drive like to Wilmington to get that.
I guess that would have been like Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yes. Yeah. Great. Another thing they only had
before they got like totally douchey.
Right.
Like back when it was quality.
When were they not? I mean, the catalogs when we were in middle school were like, Chris Carmack naked.
Well, you remember every time you walk into an Abercrombie, it was like opening a perfume ad in a magazine.
Oh, you didn't even have to. What do you mean walk in? You mean walk by it?
Yeah, when you walk in, you're
you
totally
get within
right.
like 100 yards of the thing in the mall.
You'd have to hold your breath.
It'd be like the smell of wood. Remember wood? The wood cologne.
Yeah.
It was just and that was like their brand. I don't know how they did that. Did they put it in the vents or something?
They must have. Man.
Can we get somebody from Abercrombie on our podcast to talk about how they like got that smell like to even leave their store? But it was like, we're going to make our brand come to you through
your nose.
Yeah.
So the Taylors are great. When we go through our awards later, I have a great Taylor moment that I want to share as one of my favorites.
Is he wearing New Balances in that picture?
I can't tell. I am not a sneakerhead.
Not either, but
their shoes are kind of interesting. Julie's wearing Chuck Taylors.
Really shiny. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is she wearing boots? Tammy Taylor? That would make sense. That would be on brand for her.
Yeah.
But okay. So any more thoughts on the Taylors before we keep going?
I like the Taylors. They're interesting, and every time that it cuts back to their house, I know something funny or awkward or great is going to happen. It's like the opposite of when we visit Grandma.
I love Grandma. Okay. Tyra.
Look at Tyra.
This was like, so she's gone, I think it's season 1 alone. She goes through so many different like phases. I think they just didn't know quite what to do with her yet.
So they just put 62 necklaces on her.
I know. I think this is from the pilot, actually, this picture, because I remember all of the gold and the heavy earrings, and I think she had like low cut jeans, and her tank top is blinged out, and she's got like a satin bomber jacket. It's just,
I was going to say that jacket looks like sheets in a bed.
I know. Yeah. So I think they're still trying to figure out, at this point, we're trying to figure out what the heck to do with her. She had one of the most forgettable storylines when I don't even know, she hooked up with like the regional manager of the Applebee's that would go around and visit all the Applebee's. Do you remember that? The guy from LA.
I thought he worked in an oil field. He didn't
or something like that. Yeah.
She met him because she was a waitress there, but he was like some just oil dude. And it was the most random, dumb story ever. Like
it was really dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was going to maybe come back, but I think the whole point of the story was so that Tyra could tell us that she wants to move to California.
Yeah, I mean,
because
the point
he was
of the
like,
story
you would be so cool in California. Yeah, and then Tyra was like, oh, you're right. And then she was like, oh, let me hook up with you so I can grow another mole.
I think the point of it was she doesn't want to be stuck in Dillon, Texas forever. And if that means hooking up with this guy from California because it seems glamorous and maybe it makes her think that she can do it one day, but it backfires because she ends up feeling kind of slutty because he leaves.
I wonder why.
Yeah, he leaves after giving her breakfast.
Take your mouse and go on her cheek. You can do the Big Dipper out of the mole. Start with that one and then go up. No, diagonally. See that? You see that?
I was gonna go like this. This.
There you go. That works too. Yeah, this like goes across her whole face. You got like the Big Dipper, trapezoid there, and then the one right in between her eyes is the one that gets me all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, she definitely grew. So if you don't remember from the last episode, I hypothesized that they give Tyra a new mole, like a teardrop tattoo, every time she hooks up with a guy, and so she definitely got herself a new mole. From the random oil field guy, which was just a waste of my time. I mean,
it was a waste. It was a waste of time.
Couldn't we just have had someone that Tyra liked at school, or like one of her friends, be like, "Tyra, you should move to California," and her be like, "Oh, okay," and we could have been saved ourselves all of that, scandalous Tyra, in a hotel room stuff. It was just it was like grandma scenes. I'm like, this wastes my day.
Yeah, and so we'll get to this in a minute, but like, then she just randomly starts hooking up with Tim Riggins again. Like, did you notice I forget which episode it was. It must have been 9 or 10 because I just watched them. It's after the stuff with Lila.
I didn't mind that as much.
They just looked at each other in the grocery store, and it was like, I guess we're hooking up again.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes
it was like Billy, that, I'm a hitch a ride with Tyra. And
yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Okay. Like all the mean things they said to each other.
Yeah, right. Don't matter. No, I think that was more storyline, important because it kind of showed their on again, off again, and then whenever, you've got the love quadrilateral between her and Jason Street and Lila and Riggins. That, or like the love rhombus, or I don't know, whatever that is.
Oh my gosh, we're about to get to that.
Then it just makes things like, because it was like, were they broken up or were they not? Well, Tyra was still hooking up with Riggins. Well, okay, so how does that make it okay for you to do it and not Tyra, Lila? So I mean, it's kind of, I think that was more plot essential. I am still waiting, and assume I'll be waiting the rest of my life to find out why I wasted so much time watching Tyra hook up with a random California guy.
Yeah, it was really stupid. Again, I don't think they knew what to do with her in season 1. Okay.
I love Buddy, like just over your top of your head.
Oh, when I love this. This picture is my favorite picture. We already talked about Smash. Okay.
Did you mean for the other picture to be about Smash's mom?
I like that one better, just because I think his mom was important in season 1. I mean, she's important to him.
So here's our love quadrilateral here.
Here are the lovebirds. Okay, so this
he looks happier in the right.
Yeah, the first half of the season 1 is basically about the love triangle. Right. I mean, so where we left off, obviously Jason was hurt. I don't think we knew he was paralyzed at that point, but you could kind of tell.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the question at that point is he hurt so bad that he's going to be able to bounce back from this by the end of the season?
Yeah, clearly not. He's paralyzed.
Right.
So Lila is just determined to be the best girlfriend in the world. She's going to be by his side. She's kind of delusional. And I think it just drives her crazy, right?
Yes.
And it also doesn't help that Riggins hasn't been to see Jason in the hospital, and there's just a bunch of guilt there.
Yeah. What's your thought? I mean, I guess I know what we're kind of supposed to think maybe about that, but like why? What's up with that?
I don't buy the whole thing that they gave us about him feeling guilty because he didn't tackle the guy. Because again, he was 30 yards away from where it happened. I understand maybe feeling guilty, but it was such an implausible thing that I just don't see that that's the reason why he didn't go to see Jason in the hospital. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't. It couldn't have been guilt over what's her face, because that hadn't happened yet.
Right. Yeah. I think Riggins is just a really complicated dude, and he's a really interesting character. And I hate that they tried to simplify him as so much as like
that it's just because of his father. Like, I just think there's more to him than that.
Yeah. So anyways, it all kind of culminates and, Riggins is walking home from the practice that, coach was like, you got to walk home. I forget even what that initial blow up was about. He didn't come to practice one day, or he quit the team. That was it. He quit the team.
Yeah.
They had the practice in the rain, that was a great episode.
That was a really good episode because you were starting to kind of wonder if Coach Taylor was almost like a villain and they were going to turn him into a villain or something. And then you're like, no, he's awesome.
Yeah. So anyways, he's, Coach Taylor makes Riggins walk home from wherever they were doing their practice or running or whatever.
Which talk about stuff you couldn't do today.
Is that John Mayer and Mika Kelly?
Oh, yeah. I thought I'd turn this into a love pentagon, if that's all right.
Nice. I like that you're right in the middle. It's like he's kissing your head while looking at Mika Kelly. That's perfect. I just love that we are 5-6 months into the pandemic, and you were just now playing with virtual backgrounds.
This makes me really happy.
I mean, everybody went through this phase like 1 week into quarantine. And
I see her and see Lila. Like, it looks like I'm like Lila and John Mayer. I just can't see that happening.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Unless, I don't know, she's got a penchant for bad boys, so maybe. But so he's walking. She
seems way happier with Riggins than with Jason Street. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know if anything's going to happen with that again. I don't know any spoilers, but just saying like how her character reacts, I think she just seems more drawn to, maybe she feels like she's supposed to be with Jason Street and that it would be like bad to abandon him in his time of need or something.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, here's my thing about it that makes me, this is my first part of not liking Lila. So I know everybody gave me a hard time because I liked Lila initially. I don't like Lila because it wasn't really until Jason got hurt that she noticed Riggins. They hung out all the time around the bonfire, text forever, blah, blah, blah. Like, Lila's there. Like, it's Jason's best friend. So it kind of annoys me about her character that she just started to notice Riggins as like a potential, love interest only after Jason went into a wheelchair.
Well, I mean, we didn't know anything that happened before that. So you never know. She could have had like this secret love, harbored away.
I don't know. I prefer to just think that she's the worst.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with you there. So anyway, they start hooking up and they have this dramatic kiss in the rain and she's crying and, he's comforting her. And then it kind of morphs into, over the first half of the season, that there's clearly something there real on his part. He really, really likes her. Do
you remember the first time you saw it? Did you see that kiss coming in the rain on this? Like, I did not see that coming.
I didn't see it coming.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
chemistry though.
Crossed the line.
He could have chemistry with a cardboard box, but I mean, yeah, they've got awesome chemistry. And
does someone have a crush on Tim Riggins?
Who doesn't have a crush on Tim Riggins?
I don't know. Hairdressers around the world.
Whatever. He's awesome. But
Kelly Bozeman's all about some Tim Riggins. She keeps tweeting at us talking about
again. Every woman is about Tim Riggins.
He needs to cut his hair. It looks terrible.
That's what you think.
Just saying, if I was a girl, I would be way more. I'm not even gonna finish that sentence. I'm just saying that Jay Street seems a lot more clean cut and
we know you are preppy. We know you preppy.
Yeah, but I think that Riggins would look nice if he just cut his hair.
Okay. But they had some sweet moments, Riggins and Lila. I mean, by the end of the first half
I think that they're a better couple.
Yeah, I mean, like when she comes over and he's eating breakfast and like he feeds her a piece of like waffle or whatever that was. And
I think they could bring out good things of each other. And you start to see that. I'm starting to see that where I'm at now. Just in their, not any spoilers or anything, but just in the dynamics of their relationship, as they have conversations, I feel like that they can complement each other well. Yeah.
And I mean, the moment where he says, I can't stop thinking about you. Like, that's just very swoon worthy. Like, that's
right.
Super romantic and whatever.
A little creepy, but yeah.
Yeah, a little creepy. But by the end of the first half of the first season, they are kind of off. because, you know, it all comes to a head when Jason sees them like hugging after they sneak him out for their day out.
Yeah, which, I mean, he could have seen a whole lot worse from what stuff they were doing. And he got all that from a hug. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just obtuse or something, but I don't know if I would have picked up on that from just, you know, seeing them hug. Like, oh, look, my best friend and my girlfriend are, you know, struggling this together too. You know, I don't know if I necessarily.
Man,
then you got Herc rolling up, and Herc's like, they're doing it. You know,
when he confronts Riggins about it after the wheelchair basketball game,
yeah,
that is intense.
It is. This show is really good. I'll give it to you. So far, so good.
Yeah, so that, you know, once Jason finds out, the rumors start spreading at school, and basically Lila gets slut-shamed, which is awful. I mean,
right.
a part of me was like, well, they kind of deserve it, but then it just morphed into something like really bad. And
yeah, they do. But I mean, the cool thing about the point that the episode's trying to make, and it's not an accident. The name of the episode is "It's Different for Girls,"
right?
And it's just. I think that's why you see Riggins, you know, doing all the things that he's doing, is so that you can see it is different for girls, because no one's acting like he's doing anything at all.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they beat up his car. Like the team comes and
but not because he was not a good friend, not because he was
slept with a girl,
sleeping around. Right.
Yeah.
The stuff
they never would have done that if it had just been like Tyler.
Exactly. And the stuff with Minka, like, it's just because she slept around. Like, what did she, I mean, you know, I feel like she's getting it a whole lot worse. And, you know, and also like the way her cheerleader, and they like dropped her on the pyramid and stuff. Yeah. Like, get out of here with that.
That was really, really, really bad. So by the end of that episode, you kind of see Jason and Lila not forgiving each other yet, but they're not super angry at each other, maybe on the way to getting back together. Riggins and Lila, no, they're done.
Yeah.
And I think that there was a really telling moment at the end of that episode when Riggins kind of has this talk with Lila before her cheerleading competition. And Lila kind of, you know, gets her confidence back and goes out there and, you know, nails the routine. And she looks up in the stands, and Riggins thinks that she's looking at him. No, she was looking at Jason Street, who was
right. Like, okay. That was good. I mean, this is. I mean, I kind of want to read the book, because I want to know how much of this is cleverness from screenwriters.
Maybe we both should. That would be like a
good cleverness. Yeah, we could do a podcast like on the book.
That'd be good, because I haven't read it before. I've always
that would be fun, because I'm interested. You know, like I said, this is really brilliant stuff. It's not predictable, and it's just the characters they're really good. Hey, go to the picture of the Taylors again.
Okay, hang on one second. I had just taken it down.
Sorry.
But I can do it again. All right. So what's your point going to be with the Taylors?
Just how well I just, you know, this was a really woke thing, and it was just so long ago that look at the difference in bloodline from Kyle Chandler. Like, he looks like Coach Cal, man. It's like,
actually, I think they look a lot like, they don't look that different. I mean,
I think he does. I think he looks like older and
he's aged
plumper.
14 years. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, it just makes you realize how long ago this episode was, to touch on some of the themes that they touch on this episode.
Yeah.
Like, you just didn't see that. I mean, you know, you realize that when they make comments, like, you know, there's a lot of homophobic stuff, like, in that you, like, you know, was pretty common, you know, for you to hear on TV, and people saying, you know, unfortunately, back, you know, around that time. And it kind of shows you how far we've come, you know, just a few years with that. But, you know, some of the themes that they cover here, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, this could be it seems like you know, we ever watch Designated Survivor, or like my wife likes Madam Secretary, and it's like, basically, instead of taking creative stories they basically just take stuff from out of the news and turn it into an episode. So like on the Madam Secretary episode that she was watching, they've got the kids in cages and stuff. Like it's like basically they just take stuff out of the news and like make her deal with
like
it.
Topical,
Right. And then same thing on Designated Survivor. Like they try to dumb it down and explain stuff.
I think you're the only person I know who watches Designated Survivor.
Well, it was good. It was good. Anyway,
is that the Kiefer Sutherland one?
Yes, of course.
That's the only reason you watched it.
Yes, I know. It's great. But anyway, all I'm saying is that it's really interesting that this was like 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're covering like themes that are, in the news today.
Well, there's a couple racism episodes. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like they got to, well, that too. And I mean, and so I like that. I like that. I mean, it just shows how forward thinking it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so are we done with the table?
Yeah. I wanted to compare. Like I thought that was like, really stark difference. Did you see that picture of Coach Cal eating ice cream?
Oh my gosh, he's looking bad.
I know.
I know none of us look great right now, but
I was comparing that. Like it just seems like when I see Kyle Chandler, I'm like, man, he looks so different.
Yeah. So any other plot lines that we haven't really gone through? I think we got most of them. I'll go through.
Yeah, we needed more Buddy Garrity in these episodes. The only Buddy we got was when he went to the City Motel to get voodoo.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that because we're gonna give out some like awards, and that's
okay.
Fine. Right. Let's see. We kind of get to know Billy Riggins a little bit, but I'll talk about that in a minute.
I don't like him.
Yeah. So this was kind of interesting. So I was watching and I was like, man, they really did show Applebee's a lot. I wonder how much Applebee's paid for that. They paid a lot for it, actually.
Really? Oh, that's so interesting.
So
okay.
They paid for product placement. One episode in season 1, they paid $155,000 for product placement.
Holy cow, man.
Which, if you compare that to a 30-second commercial, is like $135,000.
Was it back then or now?
Back then. So they were saying,
holy cow, man.
They interviewed the people who came up with the deal, and they were like, do you feel like you got your money's worth? Because
heck yeah.
Well, the ratings for Friday Night Lights were not good. I mean, that's why it had to be,
okay. So they were
they still said that they got their money's worth because
more than a commercial.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I have expected, like, at one point, Tammy Taylor to pick up one of the skillets and be like, look at this, Saturday skillet.
Look at this cookie. They made it in the skillet. Look, let's have a Brutus together, buddy. So, I loved Applebee's at UK. I don't know. Did you hit up Applebee's a lot?
No.
Well, so after 10 o'clock, they had half-price appetizers. And so, like, after, like, so we'd play, remember Ultimate Frisbee? We played that all the time at UK. We would play Ultimate Frisbee, and then we'd go to Applebee's, and you could get, like, the boneless wings and, like, mott sticks and stuff. And it would be, like, $4 because it was all half-priced after, like, 10 o'clock on weeknights in Lexington. So, yeah, I was all about some Applebee's when I was in college, and which was right about that time.
Yeah, Danville, it was a big moment when Danville got an Applebee's. I feel like that's when you've made it from small town to, like, still a small town, but at least we got, like, chains.
Yeah.
Other than fast food. And, like, because they put up pictures, like, from local things, the sports teams and whatever in the Applebee's. And that was a big moment, like, walking in the Applebee's and being like, oh, look, it's all the Danville Admiral stuff. And, like, yeah, it was fun.
Don't you think that would have been a lot better place to have parties than Buddy Gary's dealership?
Yeah. I
think so, too.
Are we switching up backgrounds again?
We just got to keep it fresh.
Okay, so we're going to go through some awards. This is going to be a regular segment for every episode that we do.
All right.
I have my list. You have your list. We have not talked about these. I don't know what you're going to say.
No, I don't even have a list. You're
just going to wing it.
I'm just winging it. I'm doing it on the fly.
I'll start us out. So we're going to do favorite storyline and least favorite storyline.
Okay.
My favorite one is actually kind of surprising because I don't like one of the characters, but I thought it was sweet.
Okay.
Saracen and Julie's first date.
Okay.
I thought we kind of talked about this earlier. I thought him coming to the door and picking her up was really funny.
Right.
Because, you know, they were talking about the members only jacket and her parents made her change. And so while they're waiting for her to change, Coach Taylor's like, "Can I get you a beer?" He's like, "Oh, no, I'm driving." It's like, Saracen, you idiot. Like, don't say that.
Yeah, that was good. I was gonna say just not the specific date, but I liked that storyline, just them dating, not the first date, but all of their interactions seem realistic to me as much as a TV show can be. And I think that even up to where I'm at now, like all of their interactions, you know, the awkwardness, they don't really know what to say to each other, but like it's not so awkward that it's like people aren't like that. I think it's true to his character, and I think I'm kind of wondering what Julie sees in him.
Saracen's great. I mean,
I'm saying, but she didn't know it. But she didn't know all that stuff like at the beginning.
Well, I think the first date kind of showed that he has a huge heart. I mean,
for him to get a date with her before that, I just feel like she didn't really know him that well. Like it's almost like she didn't really deserve him because like I don't know, like she didn't know.
Oh, that's a common theme in their relationship. But yeah, so I know you like to rag on his grandmother, but I thought that
my gosh.
So when he has to go back to the house because Landry was watching his grandmother during the first date.
That's the only part I've ever liked Grandma, because it was so like
sweet. I mean,
and you realize what a burden it is on him, and it also like what his priorities are, because you know, I think that he's done a really good job of making Julie feel like that she's important, but at the same time, like he drew the line between brand new girlfriend and family. So you could see that like he has a good foundation, and I like that Julie also in that whole thing. Well, I'll let you, because that was your favorite thing, but like I liked how she responded to it too, and that wasn't like a typical like, you know, TV character would be all like, "Oh, why aren't you paying attention to me?" Like, you know, she was just like, at first she kind of seemed to have that reaction, but she's a good actress. And I think she like played that, oh my gosh, transition really well without having to say a whole lot. When she kind of jumped in and started help. Like, I was like, okay, I like her. How do you not like Julie? Anyway, all right. Whatever.
No, you just wait. But no, I thought it was sweet. So they go back to his house and his grandmother's locked herself in the closet.
Did you say you thought it was sweet, or you thought it was sweet?
I said, you just wait. I thought it was sweet.
Oh, okay. Just
checking. So anyway, his grandmother's in the closet, you know, calling out for her husband who's been dead. And I guess it's a routine thing that happens with her. You know, clearly she has dementia or something, Alzheimer's, something.
Something like that. Yeah.
And he pretends to be his grandfather, her husband, and just it's a very heartwarming moment. And you know, he sings to her and she comes out of the closet, and it's like, like I don't know, that tugged at my heartstrings. I thought that was a great moment. My runner-up for favorite storyline was Jason Street finding out about Lila and Riggins, just because like that was a very satisfying moment, although I don't like all the shut slamming that came after that. But so that was my favorite storyline. What was yours?
Mine was just the relationship, not the first date, but just the relationship, like all throughout, watching that like develop between Matt and Julie.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
From their interactions at school to everything else. Yeah.
He brings out the best in her. I will put it like that. I think she is likable when she is around him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. She's always around him. At least so far.
Yeah. So least favorite storyline, we kind of already talked about this. Smash's steroid use. One, it's just really stereotypical. Oh, a high school football player takes steroids, or just a football player in general. Really just, I hate it. I kind of fast forwarded through most of it because I'd seen it once and I didn't like it. So
I didn't mind that. Because I felt like that Smash needed some adversity to overcome. So I didn't mind that. My least favorite by far was we talked about this too, the stupid guy from Oklahoma with Tyra. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was dumb.
It was pointless. Yeah, it was so stupid.
Runner up for least favorite, because I know this is going to piss you off. Jason Street's wheelchair basketball I don't care about it at
Dude,
all.
wow, man. I hope it's hot. Gosh.
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Favorite character.
Your members only jacket's gonna be hot in hell.
Yeah. Favorite character, I'm gonna say Coach Taylor. That's an easy answer, but his one-liners in season 1 are just so great. Like super quick.
Mine's definitely Herc.
Oh, I hate Herc. I don't hate him.
Oh, I love Herc.
I mean,
like,
I get his purpose, but I just.
Yeah, I didn't get his. I hated him at first, and then I got his purpose, and was like, this guy's awesome.
Nah. Okay, least favorite character, easy, Voodoo Tatum. I hated
really?
Voodoo. Yeah, I mean, he's got a sad storyline, but I just, I don't know, I'm not about it.
Yeah, Grandma.
Oh God,
Grandma. With the exception of the first, with the exception of the first date, where I think that would, if that was all we saw of Grandma, I would love Grandma and I would love Saracen, and that's all I needed to see. I do not continually be reminded of like how hard Grandma makes Saracen's life. Like I have enough intelligence to be able to remember that episode and think to myself, man, I hope Grandma doesn't call to, spoil the state or something like that. Like, I know that she's there, and I would be totally fine if she just resurfaced, every 7 episodes with some sort of an issue that advanced the plot, instead of me just like watching her, roam around her house and watch TV. Like, that just drives me nuts.
Okay, fine, fair enough. I am standing for Grandma.
I hope it's hot. I hate Grandma.
Yeah, well, we'll be in hell together. It'll be great.
Well, hopefully Grandma will be there soon and die.
Shut up! You're so terrible. The Billy Gillespie moment of the series so
now,
far.
what is the Billy Gillespie moment?
It's a roaming, thing. It could be either the biggest party, the most, shameful moment, worst.
I was like, I don't remember Coach Taylor hooking up with a player's girlfriend.
But
allegedly.
We're going to try and have one of these for each episode of the podcast. I'm just going to pick the big party that Tyra and Billy Riggins threw, because I could see him like waking up the next morning and like still being there. Like a couple people were like peeling himself off of the ground and just staggering around. I don't know. That party was so random. What another random Tyra storyline. Like they just didn't know what to do with her. They're like, let's have her throw a party with Billy Riggins of all people.
And I could see Billy Gillespie and Tyra getting along really well.
I could see that too. What was your Billy Gillespie moment, or did you have one?
I would say probably the coach that was leaving the seedy motel as Coach Taylor was walking in.
Yes.
I feel like that was probably Billy Gillespie.
That was a good Billy Gillespie moment.
I could see him being that guy walking by.
Yeah.
What's he doing there in the motel? He might not even be there to talk to Voodoo. He could be there, just because there's other people there that he wants to see. You just never know.
By the hour,
Yeah, the worst Billy Gillespie story that I ever remember anybody telling was when a big Kentucky booster was going to fly him down to play Augusta National, and he never showed up to the plane.
Pretty bad.
And never apologized.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think Augusta National is quite Billy G's scene.
But I would give my left arm to play at Augusta National, like just one time.
Right.
And the fact that he had that opportunity to fly down there on a private jet and then never showed up at the airport,
it's pretty bad.
If that story is true, of all the Billy Gillespie stories, that's the one that makes me have the least amount of respect for him, because it's like, dude, come on, man. But yeah, I love the Billy Gillespie Award. I hope that's a recurring thing. And if we have some characters that ever play night golf, it'll just be even easier to give that out.
Or take off their clothes and dance in the Merrick Fountain with 2 women.
Well, then Tyra's going to win the Billy Gillespie Award every episode.
All right, so most cringeworthy moment. I picked Billy Riggins at dinner with the Taylors, because there's that one episode, you remember, where Billy, who's Tim Riggins' older brother, was like, we're going to get you, we're going to do all this right. And, you played really well and you could go to college. So we're just going to start eating
and
vegetables.
it was like silverware clinking.
Oh yeah, and so he brought like a gift, like a hostess gift, which is a nice thing. Like,
Right.
but it was like a steak knife set. Like that, it just seemed weird to me.
Yeah.
And then he like lost his, shit when like Bill or Tim spilled his drink, and he just like had to go to pieces at the table, and it was just, oh.
Yeah. Well, WOWIAGREE, Tyler. I think the most cringeworthy moment for me was definitely them passing the plate at the church to get him steroid money. I was just like,
yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, we really get nervous watching the games. Like, I mean, they're not cringeworthy, but they're like, it's nerve wracking.
It's like watching a real game. It's
Yeah,
so
it is. It is.
Speaking
we should have a live vlog. Can we live vlog a Panthers game?
Why not? We might have to this fall. Best sports moment. I picked the reverse in episode 5 when Saracen takes over for Voodoo, because Voodoo, gets thrown off the team. So Smash, Saracen gives it to Smash, who gives it to Riggins, who runs it in for the touchdown. And Saracen throws a block. They go for 2. They get it. They win the game. And I think that's when Coach Taylor was like, he gives Saracen the play. He's like, go get her done.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, when they get the sports right, they really get it right. Like, it just, it's like it makes you feel really great. And I just loved it.
I like the whole Arnett Meade storyline. Like, with the forfeited loss, or is it going to be a win or loss, or like what's going on? And I loved like the drama and the announcement over the intercom.
I had that written down too.
It was just
I was like, who are they? Why would they ever announce that over the intercom? Like, would they do that at your high school?
I mean, I don't know. We were all too busy picking out chaps. So, I don't know.
It's true. And playing GoldenEye.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that.
Favorite episode? We already talked about it. For me, it's different for girls because it exposes the double standards and, of slut shaming. And like I wrote down, I couldn't believe they dropped Lila during the cheerleading stunt because that was terrible.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. I like the homecoming episode.
Yeah, that was good too.
That was really good because I mean, you were like, hey, is it about to be homecoming? And then when it was, I liked everything about that episode. It was really cool. Mm-hmm. Put your rings in the air.
Didn't that episode, was that the one where Smash rapped again at the pep rally, and it was just like, just stop rapping.
Yeah, that was when he was wanting to impress the recruiting expert. It was just really good. I loved that whole like thing where he like, and I mean, I was thinking that maybe he wasn't going to play well, and then he ended up not playing well, and then he showed up at the guy's house. And that's like what started the whole steroid thing. Yeah. The whole episode, because he was like, I think you need to get bigger, son.
I know. I felt bad for Smash.
Yeah, but I liked that episode.
That was a good one. I only have one more category award, the most real moment. I really liked in episode 4 when Coach Taylor had to have that party at their house, and of course he didn't.
Oh, that was hilarious!
And Tammy at one point is under the table just cleaning up something, and she refuses to come out.
60-ish.
Yeah, I know. But I just
you knew that he was going to die. Like you knew that he was so dead. Yeah, but she should have known too when she was at the grocery store and a random like parent person ran into her and were like, "We'll see you there tonight." She should have known at that moment that it wasn't 60-ish.
Yeah, I just felt bad for her. I totally felt her anger when she was under the table and just would refuse to come out. And then the next day when Coach Taylor comes to her office and he's like, he gives her this BS apology. And he says, "I'm sorry, you're pissed off." And she's like,
"Yeah, oh, that was so.
You're sorry." What couples haven't had that argument? Like
right,
that moment where it's
that was funny.
Well, I'm sorry if I made you feel bad. Like it's just, it was so real, and that's what's so great about their relationship is it has so many of those like really real moments. I think.
I agree.
Yeah. So that was all mine. Do you have any other awards you'd like to give or thoughts?
I don't think so. Like I said, this is kind of the part that pulled me in a little bit. I would say, I liked the most real moment for me was probably the Lila reaction to Jason Street storyline. So just kind of like how she was there for him, but he, I think, reacted in a way that everyone could, empathize with. Like it was like he wanted her there but didn't.
Yeah.
It was like, he didn't want her hovering over him and stuff, or like, but then at the same time when she wasn't there, it's like, where are you? And like, it's like, and the way that she couldn't really handle it because she didn't really know what to do. I felt like her character so far, as that's what I was saying that you gave me such a hard time about last episode, everybody was, but like, why I liked Lila is that, like, I feel like her character, and I think I said that in this last episode, is the most real. Like, I feel like so far, like in season 1, that, they don't try to like make her like Buddy or like her mom. Like, so she's got these nut job parents at home, and she still is like, I think, reacting in ways that everybody could kind of relate to. Like, you can kind of see how this whole thing with Jason Street she could go one or two ways. I mean, she could go like a crazy, like wild girl like storyline, which would be annoying, or she could be like the doting girlfriend, and she's like kind of torn somewhere in between. And I just find it to be really, really interesting. So I'm excited to see kind of where that goes and how that plays out long term, because I just felt like that writing was so good, because I think all of us could see ourselves in her shoes, not really knowing how to respond to your whole world being pulled out from under you.
Yeah.
And I like how she's responded so far, with the exception of hooking up with his best friend. In that it's difficult. It's a difficult situation, and she does a great job of making us feel that.
Yeah. I mean, as much grief as I give Lila, and she has her moments, I think she ended this, our season, the first half of the season on a high note with the whole, it's different for girls. She had, a really great, couple moments. Oh, here we go. There's Minka again. When did they date?
I don't know.
At some point in life.
She looks like she's Lila-ish there.
A little bit. Maybe like Lila the college years.
Her chin looks like it's stabbing me in the head.
Okay, so that's all I had for this.
Got some Leno action going on there.
Oh gosh, only you would find something ugly about Minka Kelly.
Did I say ugly? Do you think Leno's ugly?
Do I think his chin is ugly?
I just said Leno-ish. I just said
you just compared her to Jay Leno.
It's there. It's just there. I'm saying. At least I didn't draw the Big Dipper on her face.
Yeah, that's true. So that's probably about it for episodes 2 through 10. Any lingering thoughts?
Good stuff. It's got me hooked.
It definitely will hook you in. We will go through 11 through 22 in the next episode. So if you're only caught up this far, or if you haven't finished the season yet, the next podcast will be ready for you when you are ready for it. All right. Well, we will be back momentarily. All right. Clear eyes, full hearts.
Turn loose. Go Kites.